everybody, and welcome back to Vasten2, episode 7. Today, first thing we're doing is we're moving my beacon. It was off-center, it was driving me a little bit bonkers, but yeah, and also I wanted to get it a little bit lower so that I can kind of build around it and have it not take up most of my storage room. Because this is going to be the first episode where you probably saw from the thumbnail where we actually start building our mega base all within the city of Dawnport. You can see back behind me, there's a castle behind me, there's a bunch of houses on one side, there's another big keep on the other side. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge, giant city. I'm going to have to do a world tour very, very soon. But what I decided to do was first lay out the inner tower, and I decided I want to go with an octagon because I have some plans in my head. I haven't sketched anything out like I do sometimes, but I have some plans in my head of how I want this whole octagon situation to work. I think it's going to be pretty cool that way. We're going to have a whole bunch of supports and all that kind of stuff. Now, the plan has changed a bit because first I needed a lot of stone, so I've been digging down, and that's going to sort of influence the plan of the base as well. By digging down, A, I'm getting tons of materials, but B, I'm going to actually use the underground as a giant part of the city. So instead of have everything just sit right in the ground, we're going to have some things that are kind of hovering here in the base. I think that's going to be a really cool little lore bit. I think in this lore, the magic of colors and how they extract colors from things are going to be something that is going to really be influential in how this actual city exists. So, having made that decision, then now I need to sort of take it down a level. So I did some real thinking. I did some real soul searching on how I wanted to really make this whole build work, because I didn't want to start digging a big project that I'm going to be, once you start, you can't get out of it. It is what it is. And I decided, yeah, let's at least take it down so we have a bit of a land island. And then what the island is going to be floating above or on top of, I don't know yet exactly. That's going to sort of come in as we see things. Hopefully that will spur on some creativity. Usually it does. Usually once I start putting blocks down, I can kind of look at something from a different angle and come up with what I think is a kind of cool idea. The other thing is I'm going to play a lot on the diagonals here. Since it's a circle, instead of stay right on the X and Z axis, you can see there's some diagonal parts of this. They're going to be really huge in the actual build. There's going to be so many diagonals and geometric patterns in this, where my building has evolved in many ways to be a lot more ramshackle and all over the place and kind of random and stuff like that. Now, at this point, my building is, honestly, I like that a lot, but I think for this build, we're going to go really, really geometrically balanced, right? Very symmetrical on different sides, all kinds of stuff like that. That's going to be a real headache when it comes to building, because I'm going to have to do a lot of counting, and that usually ends up being a lot of electroflights and screenshots and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be worth it, because this huge tower is going to be rising above. Like you can already see, it's already, even just the outline of it is already well above the house line around it. And those houses you can see up on the top right of your screen, those are the filler houses that I have been working on thus far this season. And I'm going to surround this entire circle, this entire wall on all sides, except for where it briefly touches the river, with those houses. So the house will go right up against the wall, and it'll just seem like this is just coming out of the earth or out of the city landscape. I think it's going to be just an awesome thing. Thank you to Trixon for the amazing shuffle mod, which makes doing these kind of fill-ins really, really nice. So what I did was I loaded up my hotbar with 3 cobblestone and 1 cracked stone brick. Luckily, at this point now, I have lots of cobblestone and lots of smooth stone. And I just set it to random, so it just picks from those 4. It picks cobblestone 3 times and the crackstone brick 1 time randomly, not exactly in that order, but it does a really nice job, and just is such a time saver where you can just make a giant wall and not even think about it. So you can see what I started doing is I started putting a walkway that goes around the wall, and I don't have a real set plan for that either yet, but it's going to be important. At some point it's going to play in, because we're going to have some stuff hovering, and I want to have that walkway sort of established. And then later, as we dig down more, we're going to be going sort of at an angle, kind of jutting down like a cliff, as if it's like suspended over what's going to be a hole. So I didn't worry about making it really clean lines. In fact, I didn't want clean lines. Where they turned out to be too clean, I went back and I took out a couple extra blocks. What I'll do probably next time is I'll go in and I'll take out all the andesite, diorite, and granite that you see along this little man-made cliff I have going around the side, and make it all either smooth stone or a random bit of smooth stone and cobblestone. And that way it's more of that grayscale. It's very uniform, but also kind of messy. That's what I want. I want uniformly messy, as if that makes sense at all. I hope you are enjoying the way that I have chosen to do Vasten this season with all the time-lapse replay mod footage. It's very interesting and very unique to me, because it's not something I've ever really done on my channel before. And I think it gives a different thing than what maybe your typical SMP sort of thing is. Since we're builders here, right? That's what we are. I decided to really lean all into the building thing. And I hopefully it's going over as well with you as it is with me. So here I started working on bringing up some of these other supports, and I wanted 3 different levels. Now this is just the lower quarter of the tower, right? The tower is going to be about 4 times this tall. I went up to build height minus where the structure starts, divided by approximately 4, and each segment is going to be like this. So this is just segment 1. This is just the bottom part, right? You may get, those of you longtime Vasteneers, may get some end temple sort of remembrances. It is a little bit similar. And what I did with the top of these diagonal builds is at the very top, I put in a platform 3 blocks lower than the top. Reason being, I don't know what's going to be there yet, but I don't want to mess up the ceiling of that eventual room by then having to lower it or something like that. So I put that down there. That way, from the bottom, I know that is going to be a ceiling, right? It's going to help a lot to not have to move things later. And then up at the top, we're just finishing up these diagonals here. And I did actually go ahead and flatten off the top eventually here as well. And again, that's just so the bottom underneath where the storage room is currently, then I know how much room I have to work with if I want to make it into a grand hall or something like that. I don't know how grand it can be because there's not a lot of room for windows and stuff. But what we'll eventually do is we'll eventually put in nice big roofs on these 8 lower like support structures. So hopefully, hopefully it'll work. It can't be wood. It's got to have to be a different color. All right, well, why don't we pop in the game and take a look at what it looks like from the ground level. Oh man, this place feels something special. It really does. I really enjoy it. And yeah, this is how it looks from the ground. I think it looks a lot bigger when you're standing right here than it does, whenever you're flying overhead in replay mod mode, right? But yeah, it's not. Hello. It's nice. It's nice. I think this is going to be a really cool build. And yeah, it's very clearly it needs just a billion times of detail and all that kind of stuff. But that comes at a later stage. The first thing is I just rough everything in, and then I figure out what's next. But I thought maybe what we could do today at the end of this is, because I'm not going to do a world tour until episode 10 again, like a real walking world tour. Though I do believe I might do a little bit more of this kind of thing where at the end of a time lapse, I walk around and I talk to you guys a little bit. I think it might be kind of fun. Here, you can kind of see what we're going for here, right? I just imagine this going way up there. I don't know if you can keep track. If you're not watching everyone else's videos, then you may not be able to keep track of what's new and what's old. But yeah, this entire section of town is brand new. This section, I think we looked at a little bit last tour, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. I only wish that, that I could get the same sort of general chunk loading / render distance that is on Bedrock, because then you could actually see this whole entire thing. But yeah, it is really amazing. It's really amazing. Every direction that you walk is just city. It's just more and more city. We have a tour server. The tour server IP did change, so if you want to check it out, then jump on the tour server IP and the new one that will be in the description of this video. And yeah, you can come on. I'll get this updated around the time this video comes out, maybe a day before, day after, or something like that. So you can just walk around. Just please grab the most recent texture pack version, or things will look pretty terrible. But yeah, you can just see, isn't this beautiful? I mean, come on, these builders, they're just amazing. Look at this. What is this even? Oh, man, wow. Just awesome. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Make sure to check out everyone else's videos, because if not, you are missing out on some real, stuff. You're missing out on some real stuff here. And we'll see you all next episode from Vasten2. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. I really do appreciate it. Hey, if you don't mind, I just started a new series last week called Time-Lapse, Minecraft Time-Lapse, creative time-lapse building with Fix, and it's not maybe everyone's cup of tea. If you don't mind, would you mind going over and clicking on that video for me? Do me a favor and get that just a wee little bit more more traction, maybe a few more people will pick it up, okay? I appreciate it. It's going to be something new I try to add to the channel, and I think it could be a lot of fun. There's going to be a download every episode for that particular one, okay? All right, we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.